Hey everybody, welcome to Gravity Ace live stream number 2. It sounded pretty snarky. I'm actually excited. Hey Max, look at that. What do you think of that? Yeah, so I know, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. And I thought, nobody wants to see a game development live stream while the world is on fire. But I thought it'd be cool. Well, I didn't think it'd be cool. I thought it'd be... everybody needs a break, right? You can't be bad news all the time. So I spent yesterday... whoa, why isn't that wrapping? So that's not working right. I spent yesterday building this. So it's a way for the Twitch chat to be embedded in here. And there are some cool commands. Although it's bugging me that it's not wrapping. So let me just fix that real quick. It's this. So this is built on a couple of different things. First of all, Godot has the whole Godot editor. Let me show it. The whole Godot editor is built on built with the engine itself, and there's a bunch of classes and things where you can. It has a whole plugin system, so you can add more stuff in here, right? No, I know. I know there's stuff like that, but I'm on Linux for one, so some of that stuff only runs on Windows. But I thought it'd be cool because I'm in here, just why not? I thought it'd be fun, and it was fun. So there's this guy built a library for connecting to Twitch chat that runs in Godot. And he built that to make bots and stuff. So it doesn't do chat. So I built a plugin for the editor so I could just see the chat right in there. And here's the plugin thingy, scene. This is the scene for the plugin itself. And one of the things in here is line wrapping, I think. There it is. See, I just didn't turn it on. So now I have to quit the editor, open it back up again, reconnect, and now when I type something that is too long, it should wrap. And it does. I didn't ignore your last comment. I should make my own operating system? Is that the one? No, I'm not going to make my own operating system. But I did do this. Type in wave. Try that. Yeah. So now people can get my attention while I'm coding away. And it's got a bot in here. Look at this. Check this one out. You can do size and then change the font size of my editor. I like them apples. And if you try theme, you can change my theme. Some of them aren't very different. Aha. See, I knew you would do that, Max. I knew you'd do that. Yeah, so, it needs some work maybe, but the idea here, it doesn't do the emotes and it doesn't do the pictures and stuff, but the idea for me was just, I just want I just want somebody to be able to get my attention, I guess, when I'm coding away. All right, so this is for Judd. Judd on my Discord server asked how I do the scene transitions. Let me show you some right now. So when you start the game, you'll see it. It's that curtain effect that happens between the scenes. Kind of closes and then opens. And when you start, see like that. Back. Start. Back. Start. Back. That thing. So how does it work? So okay. Let me do a basic transition. So to do a basic transition, you do this. There's a function in Godot in the engine called change scene, and you just give it another scene of where you want it to go, what you want it to transition to, and it changes the scene from one to the other. Pretty simple, but it's an instant kind of, 1 second you're in one scene, the next second you're in a different scene. So to get the transition going, you have to do a few things. And one of them is you have to have something that sits outside of the scene that sort of manages everything. Was my sound too loud? Couldn't tell if it was clipping or not, or doing something odd. Anyway, I just turned it down. Let me know if it's too quiet or too loud. So you need something that's like outside of the scenes to manage the transition. Thanks, Max. And that's where these auto loads come in. You can set up a scene or a script. Thank you. So you can set up a scene or a script, and these are, Godot calls them auto loads. They're singletons. Basically what they are is they're a class or a scene that's loaded when your game is run, and they stay loaded throughout the whole run, and they kind of exist outside of the normal scene tree, so they're just always present. You can add as many as you like, right? You tell it the path to your scene or your script, and you give it a name and you add it. You can tell it what order you want them in. I'm not sure if that does anything, and then you can enable them or disable them. So I've got one here called game, one for pickups, one for my configuration, one for the campaign manager, loading and saving levels, that sort of stuff. But this is the one that's managing the transitions. It does a bunch of other stuff, but it manages the transitions too. So I have it called game, and anywhere in my code, I can use game and call functions on it. So I use it all over the place. My level chooser uses it. I'm using it to keep a reference to the camera. I have these helper functions in there, right? All over the place. And one of the things it does is it does this transition. So the game scene, that singleton scene, it has all of these nodes in it. And one of the things it has is this texture rectangle, which covers the whole screen. This square represents the whole screen. And yeah, no, I wrote the, well, I mean, this is built into Godot, but I wrote these scenes and scripts. Yeah, the Twitch chat needs some debugging. I wonder, I mean, this is the first time I've ever used it. What if I turn it off and on? Activate it again. Connect again. So this is built into Godot, but I wrote this. And so this scene, this game tree of nodes gets loaded, and it's just in every, it's always available throughout the entire lifetime of the game. And one of the things it has in it is this texture rectangle, which looks empty here. But I'll show you. It's got a texture, which is just a I think, a transparent texture just to set the size of it. And it's got a shader. And the shader has a parameter, which is another texture. And then it's got some parameters here. One's called cutoff, one's color, one's this texture. So these are all parameters of this shader. And basically what the shader does is when it changes the color of this texture rectangle, gosh, it's kind of complicated to explain. It changes the color of this texture rectangle based on the texture and the cutoff. So what it's doing is it looks at the red channel of this texture, and when the red color is greater than the value of the red in the texture is greater than the cutoff, then it shows the screen texture, and when it's less, it shows the texture color. Okay, so by showing the screen, it basically makes it transparent. It's showing what's behind it. And by showing the color of the texture here, it's covering it. Okay? So we just need to make this cutoff change, and using the animation player, this guy, one of the things it animates is the parameter for that cutoff right here. So it starts it at 0, and then you see as the cutoff changes, you can see the texture come in, and then it goes to 1 here. Then it holds it at 1 for a few seconds, well, just a little bit of time, a few 100 milliseconds, and then it goes back the other way from 1 all the way back down to 0 again. So this is animating the cutoff value, which is a parameter of that shader. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I think in the last stream I did, I mentioned that I generally prefer not to use semi-transparent pixels. They're either fully opaque or fully transparent. That's why I've got this kind of raggedy edge. But you can see, since the texture here has different levels of value, all the way up to white, and then almost down to kind of a really dark color. When the cutoff is, by moving the cutoff, you're basically saying show this part, then show this part, then show this part, then show this part, then show this part. And because it's the same values on both sides, it kind of comes into the center like this, and then it goes away from the center again to open back up. And then at the halfway point right here, I call this function called halfway. I know, pretty clever name. And the halfway function, I think, just emits a signal. Yeah, so it emits a signal. So halfway through this animation, it starts the animation, it does the transition, or it does the cutoff animation, emits a signal, and then opens back up again. And remember, because this is always in the game, and I have part of this canvas layer, which has a pretty high layer value, so this is going to show on top of everything else going on in the game. So what I do here in this transition thing is I pause the game, I stop the animation, this transition animation, I play it again from the beginning, then I wait until I get to the halfway point. So the animation plays, and then when this signal is emitted, it changes the scene. The animation keeps playing. So at this point, you're seeing the old scene. You'll see the current scene, and then the curtain closes. It changes to the new scene, and then the curtain opens and you see the new scene. And then as soon as that's done, as soon as it changes to the new scene, it also unpauses the game. And that's it. Not too complicated. There is a lot going on. It's got this transition texture. It's got an animation player. I'm using this singleton and a signal here. But, I mean, the texture is not complicated. I could show you the actual texture in here somewhere. And I think I made a bunch of them. Let me see. Is it here? Yeah, there it is. So I made a bunch of them, right? This was one. That's actually that's actual size, right? The game's tiny. So you see it's dark. And then it gets lighter in the center, so it does that curtain effect. If I changed it to this texture, it would be kind of a circle coming in effect. This one's like a curtain coming down from the top and then going back up again. Excuse me. Yeah, so I can change the transitions. And I thought about doing this. I could make it like random if I wanted to. All right, there's the circle. Here's the up and down curtain. Right? But this is the one this was the winner. And then the shader itself is pretty simple, like I showed you before. Just a few lines. It's not very complicated. It has these parameters, the cutoff, the texture, this color, which I don't think I'm using. No, it is using it. So this is the black color. Oh yeah. So it's showing the screen texture, or it shows this color, depending on what value this is compared to the cutoff. So I could change this to like green, right? And then when you play it, you should see a green curtain. Why is it red? I don't know why it's red. That's fine. I just want a black curtain anyway. Yeah. So that's it. That's the thing. If anybody's curious about it, they want to copy this shader. I mean, it's 15 lines. I'll send it to you if you want. I'll post it in my Discord if anybody asks for it. But it's not rocket surgery. I think that's it. I just wanted to show that real quick. Judd, that was for you. Also, the cool Twitch chat thing, which I thought was fun. I just like typing wave in there. All right, everybody. I'm calling tonight. Thanks for watching. I hope that, seeing this stuff here helped somebody. Let me know in Discord if you have any questions about it, if you want to get a copy of the shader, have questions, whatever. I'm happy to share. And till then, I'll see you next time. Make sure to come to gravityace.com. Go on Steam, add it to your wish list, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys around.